What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the AFLW season review. We're wrapping up Port Adelaide's season for 2025, and just like the men's, unfortunately missing out on finals due to an inconsistent season, and one that probably should have been a bit more than what it was. And with such a young group and such high expectation after last year's fantastic result making a prelim final, it definitely left a lot to be desired out there on the field for the girls. But in saying that, there's a lot of positives and a lot of opportunities going forward for this club, and with Coach Lauren Arnell, I think this club is in a perfect place to pounce again in 2026. So let's get straight into the review. Might be a large one, but we can discuss a few different points about the year, and would love to have your input as well in the comments below. So let me know what you think about the girls' season, the AFLW as a whole, and yeah, looking forward to talking about this. So let's get straight into it and talk AFLW.
The kick goes in a direction. She's got a few players to beat, but she takes the mark. And on the siren, Gemma Houghton is going to shoot for goal number 100. But here is history in the making for Gemma Houghton. The first player in AFLW history to kick 100 career goals. An incredible feat for a player who has been in the AFLW since day one. It is not just a number, it is a legacy.
So Port Adelaide's season of 2025 for the AFLW, the girls ended up finishing 10th with a percentage of 105, 6 wins, 6 losses in a year of missed opportunities, in my opinion. One that failed to get going, and one that was definitely, like I said in the intro, a lot to be left out. A lot to be desired on the field, and one year that I think in particular, injuries early on definitely didn't help. Amelia Borg getting injured, and you know, these players that have become an integral part of our club and our culture were injured and you know, inconsistent, and yeah, it's just one of those years where you just didn't expect. You expected a lot more, but unfortunately, the output was not as good as per se the input. I guess when it comes to how last year it was, and there was an expectation on Port Adelaide this year to be around the mark, will be same, and in terms of competitiveness, and I would say we were. And last year we definitely got on a lot better of a run. I guess the last 6 games of the year we won, right up until the prelim, and you know, I think with this year's results, we definitely just didn't get that tone of luck. And the back end of the year, we definitely were a lot more successful and a lot more prominent when it came to winning. You know, we ended up, you know, winning pretty much our last 4 games of the year, and we're in a lot better stead. 3 of the last 4 games of the year, that included a first showdown win ever, which is a massive tick in itself. And to have that first showdown win is a great opportunity. You know, we bet the teams like Hawthorn. That win was a fantastic result at Alberton, one of you know, perseverance and quickness, and it was exciting football, and the brand of football that the girls are playing and have done for the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years now, that they've definitely you know, created a game plan. Lauren Arnell and her team have created a game plan that is fun, exciting, and you know, I think this year it was one of those things where it just didn't come off as well, and comes down to skill, comes down to personnel. We're such a young group, you know, we're the youngest side in the AFL, and to have that and still build on that from last year, I definitely think it's still a tick, it's still a positive mark. I did see, you know, 7 AFL experts give us a B+, which was, you know, Kate McCarthy has her grand experience in football and in AFLW, and I trust her instinct, and for her to give us a B+ is definitely a lot more. So it from the outside, you know, Port Adelaide and Port Adelaide fans are very much, you know, continuative when it comes to how they view their sides, and they would see this year as a failure because we didn't make finals, and compared to last year, you know, we made the prelim. And same with the men's, you know, last year made a prelim and didn't even quite even come into the conversation of finals. So for that in itself, the whole club and the football department, you know, have you know, a very different viewpoint going into next year with Ben Rutten, and I think a little bit of a scale back on what we can do going into next year will help. And I think, with the foundations that we have, we have the Gemma Houghton signing on for a couple of years. We have another year under the belt of Lauren Young, and then we have, the core group as well: Indy Tahoe, Matilda Scholes, Abby Darrick, and so forth. And like I said, Amelia Boyd and Bogue as well. And these players that are now building their seasons and pushing into that age bracket where they'll start to hit their peak and start to hit their development, and whilst also having that experience and combination throughout the group, it helps. And with the youngest group in the comp, finishing 10th is a pretty damn good standard, I would say. I don't want to glaze the AFLW too much, because 10th is 10th. It's not a finals berth. It is a missed opportunity in season 2025, and with performances like we had against the Crows and like we had against Hawthorn, who says we couldn't have taken it up to a Brisbane or a Melbourne and pushed our way to a prelim again in going into this final series. We pushed Brisbane at their home ground. Hawthorn we beat at home, and these wins and these opportunities that we had, combined with the missed opportunities of, we had a 30-point lead against the Saints and choked that. We lost to the Cats in controversial ways at Alberton. Freo in round one, we just didn't hold to a better standard. And these types of games that do go missing and things, they cost you. And in a season of 12 games, every game matters. Everything has so much riding on it, and you cannot lose your way. And in such a close comp like it was this year between 6th and 12th, teams are going to rue opportunities, and that's what Port Adelaide were. And we've pounced on that straight away. We've signed Gemma Houghton for 2 years already, going to 2027, which is great. I'm sure there'll be a lot more list changes to come, but we've already had delistings with Jasmine Stewart, which was a bit of a surprise. She's played 20-odd games for the Power, came across from Freo as well, and yeah, she's been delisted. Alyssa Brooke, youngster, only been with the club for a couple of years, and she's no longer part of the football club, unfortunately. Kobe Morgan as well has been delisted after 1 year, and Janelle Cuthbertson, sorry about that, has retired from the AFLW. So already amount of list changes there, which brings good opportunities for the future. We've seen glimpses of that with some great youngsters coming through the side, and I really am very excited going forth, and I've mentioned it a few times now, but the young core group of this club is going to be taking us a lot further. And I think with the ability that we have now as a star-powered forward line with Justine Mills-Robinson as the captain, and Indy Tahoe down there, and Gemma Houghton, and you're going to have Lauren Young moving around in there as well. And I think that that defensive unit that we have is going to be built upon as well, and eventually it will start to mix in a perfect way where you become a powerhouse. And I think when it comes to I don't want to compare the two, but the AFL men's has a lot more riding on it now because of the new coach and new expectation and new feel around the club, whereas the AFLW has that built foundation now. We know what we're capable of. We know what we have in our repertoire. We've seen the way we play. It's very exciting. It's high scoring. It's flair. It's beautiful to watch. And I feel like that both sides, whilst different visions now, under Ben Rutten, will have a great leap in 2026, and that'll be a mini prediction for you. But unfortunately, for the 2025 season, it's one to forget for both sides, and the AFLW work to do, but I'm very excited to see what comes in 2026. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the AFLW for 2025, the season that was. It was unfortunate to not make finals, and if I was to give a grade, it would be a C. It's 6 and 6. It's a C. I used to get those on my report card all the time. So you take it, you move on. You can always make most of what you get from the season prior, and I look forward to seeing what happens. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. My name's Anthony, and as always, come ThePear.